Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Hope you have had a pretty good day so far today. Hope you have a pretty good day for the rest of your day. And I just wish you don't get in trouble for the rest of the day. So I think that might be a couple good things for you to go into another big Friday for this upcoming week. We actually have, I think after this week, we have about 2 more weeks of school. And we will be out for the summer. So that'll be something I'm really finding very difficult to see is because I'm so used to high school. I will never forget because high school for the most part is like ending towards the end of May and a lot of graduation going on this year. But I mean that's always gonna be every year. But my sister though, she is graduating in May, so that'll be something crazy for me to keep under my just craziness because she is crazily 18 and I am crazily old. I'm crazily to be old that I'm not gonna be keeping up with her craziness and her whole concert thing. So, but it's life, she's going to Nashville to a very cool school which is connected to Belmont, Vanderbilt, and that one other college that she's going to. I can't remember, but it's life, siblings, and it's sad. So I don't want to see it, but I sadly have to. I mean, I can't move with her. I mean, I could, but I think it'd be better for me to let her have her fun and let her have her party she wants to throw at her dorm. So I don't want to ruin the party, and I think that might be a pretty good idea for me to do for her. I'll be doing her a favor because I'll be maybe the party pooper, I guess you can call me if I go down there with her. So I don't have to keep a good eye on her, and I bet she'd be wondering if I'm behind every corner she'll be at in the library or at her theater that she's gonna be singing at or whatever. But yeah, getting old is not too fun, and I know y'all want to say, "Oh, he's talking about old." You bet I am. That is something I don't think I will ever get over, being so old and people saying I'm not. Honey, I feel the back problems, I feel the knee problems, I feel all the problems that, in quotes, old people say they feel like every day. And I work at a grocery store, so I hear that all day. I tell them that all day. I'm getting too old for this job. So they look at me and say, "No, you don't." I'm like, "Girl, don't worry about it. It's me. I'm old. Just because I look young, don't mean I'm too young." Anyways, enough about me, more about my podcast. I mean, I guess I did say I talk a little bit about lifestyle, but I think today and just like maybe a couple more, I think 2 more weeks that we have left. So I'll kind of wrap up a little bit with all these sports finishing up. We had the Houston versus Florida game, which everyone knows if you go back to last episode that I had said it was going to be Duke versus Auburn, and that Duke versus Auburn thing did not happen. But it did happen for them to get eliminated and for a Florida versus Houston matchup. And that came to be with Florida beating Auburn and Houston beating Duke. So that was the championship game for the men's college basketball. And that was an interesting game for a little bit because we had a Florida being the first ones to score of the game. And they were actually also the team to win and scored the last points of the game. So there was a very interesting time. There was a very interesting time with a lot of, I know after a lead that got extended, I know that whole thing got, let's see, it was a 12-point game at some point, and then that 12-point game turned into not a 12-point game anymore. And I know for a fact that so many people were just at home, and once they saw it was like a 12-point line, they were just like, you know what? That's the game. I'm gonna call it no more because I seen too much. Either in an enjoyable way, them giving up on Florida, or on an unenjoyable game for Houston to slowly blow that league and lose everything. So that was a very, I think, adventurous way for a lot of people. But it's crazily down here. But it's because Florida is in the SEC. I believe that even if you don't like Florida in any sport or anything, I think so many people actually still went with cheering for them after they won. So I was like, that's weird. But for me, I'm not into it a little bit, honestly. I do have to say, UT, man, it's the University of Tennessee. That's a real UT. There's no University of Texas. University of Texas is you totally suck university. Anyways, so yeah, I'm a UT fan, a UT guy. I'm Peyton Whitaker, so I mean that kind of tells you something with the first name. So I think you should possibly know that. But with the name of University of Tennessee being involved, I have to say very few interesting things I have to give Florida is that they still suck. Just because they won the national championship this year in the college basketball doesn't mean that they're all still goody two shoes and all that lovely. Oh yeah, we're so cool and yada yada. Yeah, they can celebrate what they won this year, but I think that they will just blow it. I mean, I think in the football season this year, because Florida won their basketball game or made it farther than Tennessee, then this is going to be a Tennessee win over Florida. I think if they're playing in the in quotes swamp this year, then I think that it'll actually be a good thing because I believe that the football team will win this. So let's hope that works out the way I think it will. Because I mean, we have in rivalry, what from my eyes, I think the rivalries Tennessee has is for Florida, Georgia, Alabama, and some other teams that are in the SEC, other known as they just suck. So yeah, that's that. So for this game, we had a 31-28 lead for Houston going into halftime. So I know everyone was all happy about it because they were thinking this is it. Houston's finally going to win it for the first time in a while. So that is not the way that had actually happened, sadly, because it's just, I guess you can say, again, not their year. So there's always next year, which is always fun to say because then people they just start trying to beat you up. And I mean, hopefully you know karate or at least have a white belt in karate because I know it's not a lot, but at least you know some more basic moves you did have than you do after you learn some white belt lessons. So that's why I'm a yellow belt in Taekwondo. I just didn't uh, feel like getting my green belt, even though I know that once I would have got my green belt, I had sparring gear. Oh man, I know for a fact if I was in sparring gear, so many people would be in the hospital. I believe. I mean, even though we have helmets or whatever, I think some people would have been on the floor. Beating each other up was not really gonna happen, surprisingly. I mean, yes, you're kicking and all that, but with the helmet though, it doesn't make it any funnier. So I really thought that sucked. But yeah, so I sadly haven't been able to use those moves, so I'd prefer not to use them unless someone is drunk and trying to find me. Then that'd be something I'd celebrate for once. I don't want to, but if it comes down to it, I got some taekwondo moves in me, so I guess you don't want to be drunk and talking trash near me. I'm telling you. So spread the news, y'all, because I haven't used moves, but I think they will be used very fastly with my very fast arms, and it's like you'll be like John Cena or something. Like you'll be wondering where I'm at because of how fast I am. So watch out, everyone. Anyways, we're gonna continue talking about this little Houston versus Florida game. I mean, I gotta say, talk about other than sports sometimes. So there's that. I mean, it's still sports, but other than just straight into just basketball, and then talk about it for 10 minutes, and then just finally move on to something else. But yeah, this is gonna be a good game to talk about a little bit because I just found that it was crazy comeback with Florida. They were down 12 with 8 minutes to go in the game. That was just whenever Florida was able to take over, and it was still a back and forth game for everything, but it took them like maybe I think about 12 minutes in the second half for them to actually play through a very crazily long game. I mean, you can't really do much but just fight if you're down that bad. But, in sports, though, I do have to say it's crazy how fast things can turn in either sport. I mean, if you're playing baseball, you're down 7. Next thing you know, you hit about 4 home runs. with like 2 people on each time those home runs, and you're the home team too, that could just be walk off or anything really. So, see, like I said, there's always an advantage whenever you are the home team. You will be just given so many different eyes of how people view you. If they're like, you play really good in consecutive games, but then if you have one bad game after you've had so many good games, people are just going to change their point of view on you and say that you're one of the worst players out there. You should be able to go live in a box. It's just crazy how people view each other that are playing. Like, I see so many people that sometimes are very successful at some point during some games, but then other times they don't really get the time to enjoy because of just not being able to play as much and show out your talent throughout the game that you get towards each time, each year. That I think it's more experience of how your years go, because then how the coaches see you as you progress, hopefully, in is that people will understand and see like, oh, he's slowly progressing towards being a superstar, or he just gets traded and it's as if he is becoming a superstar, but they're just not really finding it. The management isn't really finding that progress that they are expecting out of you. But the crazy thing is with trades, it will also lead to people progressing, people having more success on teams. I mean, the crazy thing is it happens. Just if the team doesn't really see you having much success with how you've been performing, there's so many people that don't give the people just a lot of time to be performing the way that they are trying to be seen as. But management doesn't always understand how, like, what you're going through and how you really are training, and if you really are even trying to train or just show that you're just want to be on the court at some point, and yeah, you want to show them what you got, or just whatever happens, I think is always just up in the air. I mean, you can do anything crazy, and that will be just determining what the coach thinks on how you should play, or if you should play, or just whichever one they think is better for you to slowly make the progress I talked about earlier, and just showing off your talents the time you have on there. So I think that's one thing that changes all the time, is that people will sometimes see you have successful games, and at some other times people just don't really think that you have much in it to be very successful. So I think that'll be it for today. I was going to talk about the NBA playoffs that are coming up, but I think it might be just a little too long for me to be going about that as of right now, because I kind of thought that I think, like what I said earlier, that the main topic today was just going to be Florida versus Houston. I was going to cover, but I know next week that we are going to be talking a little bit more, focusing more on the NBA playoffs. I think that is going to be starting next week, maybe Wednesday or actually Thursday too. So we'll see how that goes, and I hope you enjoy. So have a good rest of your day. If you want to tell me anything, you can put that in the comments down below. If you want to reach out for anything, then go ahead and follow my Instagram at peyton.whitaker_22. My snap is going to be peyton.wit, and my Facebook is just going to be Peyton Whitaker. So if you're wondering how to spell that, it is PeytonWhitaker. So for the Peyton.Whitaker, then the Peyton.wit, and then there's that for the Facebook Peyton.Whitaker. So have a good one. Don't work too hard, and yes, hope to see you next week.